everybody. Happy Monday to you. I'm Rob Evans, and welcome to Daybreak Plus. We're recapping all the local news you missed overnight, and then we're going deep into the topics that actually matter
Good morning,
to you.
Austin.
We're talking all about sleep because I know it matters to you. South by Southwest, of course, in full swing. More than 300,000 people from all over the world coming into Austin to check out the conference. A little bit of something for everybody. Celebrates, of course, film, music, tech, and culture. Now, Jose Guerrero lives in Austin. He's gone to South by every year for the past 5 years. And we asked him, hey, why do you keep coming back? Here's what he had to say.
Oh, this is a great event to get to meet a lot of new people and just pick up some ideas about the different technologies that are out there.
Films also make their world premiere at South by, and the documentary Remaining Native debuted over the weekend. It's a story about Ku Stevens, a 17-year-old distance runner, you see him right there, who lives in a Native American reservation in Nevada. Now, he is motivated by the memory of his great-grandfather who ran 50 miles across the desert to escape a boarding school. Imagine 50 miles as a kid. Incredible. Stevens is now trying to run a collegiate qualifying time, hoping the University of Oregon will look his way. And yesterday, Nike Running hosted a 5K run in honor of the film. Stevens led the run in downtown. We talked to him and Sebastian Gallo, one of the many runners who braved the strong winds.
It's supposed to be an easy, stage 2 run. My heart rate was 165, so it was out.
Well, there'll be a screening of the film tomorrow night at the Long Center. I apologize there for the technical difficulties. Today, though, a docu-series about one of the most famous murder cases in Austin will premiere at South by Southwest. Of course, 4 girls talking about killed at a yogurt shop on West Anderson Lane in 1991. The building was then set on fire, destroyed all the forensic evidence. In the more than 3 decades since, the case has left more questions than answers. The Yogurt Shop Murders will screen its first episode at the Zach Theater at noon. It is going to be a packed house there. And of course, top Hollywood talent arrived in Austin. Actor-director Ben Stiller. I love that guy. He's so hilarious. I think I quoted every Zoolander quote last night. I mean, do you ever think there's more to life than just being really, really ridiculously good looking? He joined Apple's senior vice president to discuss Apple TV's most watched series, Severance. Stiller is the executive director for the show. It follows the life of an office worker whose brain has been surgically divided between his work and his personal memories. The fans also got to see never-before clips of that series. Not the only famous person in town. Chelsea Clinton, daughter of former President Bill Clinton, was at the Austin Convention Center yesterday. She hosted a panel discussion on reproductive freedom in the workplace. This comes as a new research from the Institute for Women's Policy Research finds that most workers want reproductive health care access covered by their employers. Clinton spoke alongside Chief Legal Officer of Bumble and the president and CEOs of the Center for Reproductive Rights and the Institute for Women's Policy. And social media food critic Keith Lee was in Austin over the weekend for South by, and here's the moment. He tried some of the best barbecue in town. Take a listen.
Oh my God, now that's what I've been waiting for. The second you open this, you can just smell it.
I can smell it from here. He just posted this video of him trying some Texas barbecue, and he gave this pork rib a 9.5 out of 10. It came from La Barbecue on Cesar Chavez in Austin, one of the 4 barbecue joints in Texas with a Michelin star. It's 7:04 right now, and the measles outbreak in West Texas continues to grow. Right now, 198 confirmed cases, 137 in Gaines County. That's where the outbreak started back in January. Now, so far, Travis County only has confirmed 1 case in a baby. It is not included in the outbreak number, though, because that patient traveled to another country, did not spread here. Texas is one of 13 states, though, reporting cases. And trying to fight it off, the Hays County Health Department is hosting a free MMR vaccine clinic today. There was a measles exposure in that county last month. Now, you don't need an appointment. Just go to the Hays County Health Department in San Marcos from 5 to 7 tonight. And also trying to address these infectious diseases like measles, the Hays County Commissioners Court recently appointed a new health department director, Matthew Gonzalez, and he says it is the department's mission to increase immunization rates in the county. He says the county needs to get 90 to 95% immunization to get herd immunity. Gonzalez says that educating the public makes it easier to hit that goal. Take a listen.
We want the parents and the community to make informed decisions. And what that means is we have to lay out all the facts for them, but also talk to them about what misinformation or disinformation may look like. So that way they can make a proper choice for their family.
Gonzalez says they also want to improve surveillance efforts on illnesses like measles or the bird flu and integrate behavioral health into their infrastructure. 7:06 right now. Let's get a look at weather and traffic with Grace and Hannah. Starting with Grace, and it was a whippy, windy day. Is that a thing, a whippy, windy day? Can we expect more of that?
Yeah, whipping winds, Rob. Yeah, it was quite a windy day yesterday, but we're going to see calm conditions as we're waking up this morning. However, it is a bit chilly out there. We're starting to see the first lights of our Monday this morning. Not too bad on the roadways. We'll let Hannah get to that in a few moments, but we're sitting at 35 over at the airport. So if you're headed over that way, a bit cooler out there. Camp Mabry at 44 degrees, humidity anywhere between about 70 and 80%, so a bit more humid today. And of course, we have those light winds in place. Our temperature changes over the last 24 hours. It's a little bit chillier than what we were waking up to yesterday. And here's a look at our temperatures as we head into 10 a.m. So we'll be well into the 50s, lower 50s by then. Maybe a couple areas of the hill country still sitting in the 40s. But as we head towards this afternoon, that southwesterly flow is really going to warm us up, potentially hitting 80 for some of us, but we'll be back down to the 40s as we wake up tomorrow. All right, here's a look at those current temperatures across the board. 38 for Cameron, 44 here in Austin, and out there towards the hill country, flirting with below freezing. Llano looking at you at 30 degrees, Fredericksburg at 32 degrees. So here's those temperatures as we head through today on today's planner. Lots of sunshine available for those of us who still want to soak it up. 78 degrees for that high temperature by about 4 or 5 p.m. Now the next couple of days are going to be really, really warm. Today is kind of the start of that warming trend out there. Wednesday into Thursday, we're going to get to the mid 80s up to about 90 degrees for our Thursday. We're thinking 90s again for our Friday, and we are tracking a cold front which will take us back down to the 80s for next weekend. So while we have that little boost of heat, it will be feeling a little bit better as we head into the latter half of the week. All right, now over the 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, it does look like those warm and above average temperatures are going to stick around for just a little while longer, but you do see out towards Albuquerque, El Paso, and those western areas that we are thinking maybe a cool down is also in store for kind of that third week of March here. So here's a look at your week as we head into the next week here. We are seeing that warming trend day by day. A little disturbance Wednesday into Thursday may produce a couple of showers out there, but really nothing significant. We also are tracking the potential for some high winds as we head Tuesday into Wednesday, which could also increase our fire weather outlook. Now, through the end of the week, we've got that cold front on the way. Thankfully, it's not going to bring us any big rains or anything like that. About a 10% chance on Saturday morning. And then by Sunday, we're back down to about 80 degrees. How are the roads looking out there, Hannah?
Ooh, it is warming up out there this week, and a good Monday morning to you, Central Texas. Your time now is 7:09, and of course, it is just busy, busy, busy. We are kicking off South by Southwest. We've got a lot of state workers heading back into the office, so really feeling that on the roads. It was pretty quiet to start, and that has quickly changed. You've got your slow crawl coming in from South Austin, and really seeing some slowdowns across the map. I also want to share with you, I'm still hearing of a pretty bad backup in East Austin following that fatal crash from much earlier this morning. But anytime it's fatal like this, there is an investigation, and they will sit out there for hours to work that. And this is at FM 969 at Decker Lane, just south of Walter E. Long Park, out near Rodeo Austin. So really feeling that for anyone traveling east today of 183. As you can see, we also have a couple other hiccups across the map. I wanted to bring your attention to backup heading southbound in Walnut Forest if you're coming in from North Austin or Round Rock today, kind of starting in that Palmer area and then just trickling down from there, approaching Breaker. So might need a little extra time if you are traveling south from North Austin. And then look at this doozy. This is just a Monday morning in South Austin. But the good news is that crash approaching Slaughter finally cleared. And then now we're just kind of waiting for everything to get back up and running again. There was a homicide investigation not too far from here earlier this morning. And this is a spillage situation separate of that. And that is near Douglas Street and Old Torf Street. So kind of a lot going on today. And then taking a live look out in Georgetown, also seeing quite a bit of stop and go heading southbound just right outside of that Georgetown Hospital area. And yeah, so we're just kind of heading out the door, and we need some extra time today, Rob, as we're kicking off another busy week here in the capital city.
All right, Hannah, thank you very much. Grace, thank you. Hey, don't forget, speaking of traffic, to pay your parking fines in the city of San Marcos. Or you could just not park illegally, either one. Starting today, though, we told you a little bit about this earlier, the city is rolling out the parking barnacle. It's the big old yellow briefcase-looking thing that suctions to the windshield of your car. And the only way to get it off is to scan the QR code, pay the fine, and then it pops off. You can put it right there in the drop box. It's the city's way to crack down on people who repeatedly park illegally. It's an alternative to a boot, though, which is actually a good thing because you can't get those off instantly. Samantha Deo is with the city. Here's what she has to say about that device.
People don't like having boots on their cars. They don't like that at all. So I like to make sure that they're safe. With this, it takes them out of the equation. So when they put it on, you know, they can put it on and leave. The person can come, pay their tickets, take it off themselves without putting the techs in any danger.
Now, a driver will only get one of these SpongeBobs if they have 3 or more unpaid parking fines and they don't respond within 10 days of being notified of said fines. So there you go. But at least you can take it off. Pay it right then. Also making news right now, a private lunar lander made right here in Texas, now not the one in Cedar Park, not Firefly, a different one made in Texas, is no longer working after a failed landing attempt on the moon. Intuitive Machines from Houston. So NASA launched the lunar lander Athena last week, but the lander missed its mark by more than 800 feet. That's like 3 football fields. That's a big, big deal. It actually landed not this way, but sideways, near the moon's south pole. Athena sent pictures confirming where it was and then activated a few experience, and then it went silent. Yeah. The company officials say they doubt the batteries can be recharged. They say the mission is over. But again, the good news is the one that was made in Cedar Park is great. We'll get ready for a celestial marvel this week. Right now, the Earth is on a path that will eventually end up directly in between the sun and the moon, casting a shadow on the face of the lunar surface. It's called a total lunar eclipse. It'll cause a rare blood moon in the evening sky. And when we're all in front of the moon, light will pass through Earth's atmosphere, scattering the light, making the moon appear a reddish orange. You kind of see it there. The upcoming total lunar eclipse will happen Thursday night into Friday. Hopefully we'll have some clear skies so you can go and check that out. That's the video from one of the last ones right there. Kind of cool hue. The Texas women's basketball team will have to wait till Sunday to find out if it will be a number 1 seed in the NCAA bracket, because on Sunday in the SEC title game, the Longhorns struggled against South Carolina. Take a listen.
And for the 3rd straight year, South Carolina, champions of the SEC.
Texas falls to South Carolina 64-45. Head coach Vic Schaefer right there blamed himself for the loss. Here are his post-game comments.
I don't think you can evaluate us on one bad quarter. I think you evaluate the total body of work, how many top 10s we've beaten throughout the course of the season, all that stuff. So I'm disappointed, but I am not disappointed in my team. You want to blame somebody, you can blame me.
He said blame me right there. The selection show for the Women's NCAA Tournament, by the way, is Sunday, 7 p.m. And the Texas men's basketball team, they're going to need, well, probably to win the SEC tournament if they want to make it to the NCAA tournament at all. Or they're going to have to win the SEC tournament to make it to the NCAA tournament. Bittersweet senior night, though, over the weekend. Texas lost to Oklahoma 76-72, and the Longhorns open up SEC play against Vanderbilt on Wednesday. Going to have to win that. Going to have to at least make it to the SEC finals to have any shot at an at-large bid, but hey, they could always win it. Well, you may have woken up this morning feeling a little bit more tired because you lost an hour of sleep over the weekend due to daylight saving time. Health experts say shifting the clock messes with our body's circadian rhythms, or the internal clock that controls our bodily processes. Don't you love talking about bodily processes at 7:15 in the morning? So there's a 2020 study by Current Biology found the switch has been linked to a 6% increase in fatal car crashes. Dr. Darian Sutton is an expert in this field, and here's what he had to say.
What is clear is that small changes in sleep, even small decreases, can detrimentally affect your health, increasing stress hormones. That increases our risk of heart attacks and strokes, principally among women and older adults in the first 2 days after this shift change.
It just adds stress. Let's all take a deep breath. But more sunlight is a positive to the time change. How about that? Yeah, stays up later. The sun stays up later, right? A study from the Journal of Physical Activity and Health suggests longer evening daylight hours are associated with increased physical activity among children. So here are some tips to adjust to the time change. Shift your bedtime 15 to 20 minutes earlier. Avoid alcohol. Get exposure to about 15 minutes of natural light at the start of your day to adjust your circadian rhythms and maintain sleep consistency. You could also take a nap. I talked to neurologist Dr. Sudha Talavajula, who gave us all permission. Take a listen to what she had to say. So what do you recommend as adults? Do we still nap or not?
So there's all sorts of fun data about napping. Right? Typically, in the traditional sense, in industrialized nation world, so it was the anthropology of sleep. We have forced ourselves to kind of work in this 8 to 5 or 9 to 5 block and decide the sleep is not meant to be in there at all. But we do know that 20 to 30 minute naps, well strategized, placed in the middle of the day, not too late again, can actually help you boost your focus, concentration, and keep you going for some more time, especially if you haven't had enough sleep at night. Now, if those naps go on to become 3-hour naps, they might ruin your sleep at night. But naps are perfectly permissible, and they're in fact good for you.
Now with something to talk about. A woman says her smart ring helped warn her early about a life-threatening health crisis. Basically, her ring saved her life. ABC's Rhiannon Alley has her story.
Nikki Gooding credits a high-tech health tracker for saving her life after the device warned her something was wrong.
I had major signs almost every single day. My readiness score was always like 30s, 40s. No bueno.
She says she's worn the so-called Aura Ring for years. The smart ring is a wellness monitor meant to track everything from heart rate to sleep patterns. But back in December, the tracker showed a troubling trend.
I began having some symptoms that were waxing and waning with night sweats and fatigue. Didn't think too much of it at the time, but I kept getting alerts on my Aura Ring app saying that I was displaying major signs that my body was under some sort of stress.
When the warnings persisted, she went to the doctor, where she got the stunning news.
I actually ended up being diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma. Luckily, my oncologist actually said that he doesn't think that I've had lymphoma for any longer than 6 months, so I think that we did catch it pretty early.
While the devices are not designed to detect illness, this isn't the first time we've seen wearable wellness trackers catch serious health problems. 46-year-old Ed Dental says his Apple Watch notified him of an irregular heartbeat.
I tried it on my left wrist on top, AFib. Left wrist on bottom, AFib. Right on top, AFib, AFib, AFib. I looked at it, I'm like, okay, there might be something to this.
It turns out he was in atrial fibrillation, an issue that could lead to blood clots and even stroke.
The reality is that this technology has gotten more and more advanced every single year. So that helps to empower the individual to go to their primary care provider with data in hand, which can be so powerful.
Rhiannon Alley, ABC News, New York.
Technology can save a life right there and kind of just bring it to the top of mind, right? I actually just had to Google some of the symptoms just to see, hey, it's really important to kind of make you think about what's going on with your health, right? Well, that is it for our Daybreak Plus, everybody. Let us know what you want to talk about. You can message us at 512-459-9442. Again, 512-459-9442. You can't call it, unfortunately, but message us. You can also message me at Rob Evans TV on Insta, Facebook, or X. And stick around because Daybreak continues right here on KVUE+. Goodbye, everybody.